We just keep dancing like we're 22. Yeah, enough of that. Let's get to the review. I'm back from the cinema with my popcorn bucket in hand, celebrating Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour concert film review. Definitely grab one of these bad boys if you can while stocks last in cinemas, because I know they've been selling like hotcakes, and they also do a collectible cup also. But welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. My name's Mike. My channel's called Did You See That? Whether you're new or returning, really appreciate you stopping by to check out my thoughts and review of Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour concert film. This is directed by Sam Wrench, and this basically follows Taylor Swift on her last stop in the US tour of the Eras Tour, so she says in the film, in LA, into a sold out stadium tour as she catalogues and goes through 17 years worth of music. Just to interrupt this video very quickly, if you aren't aware by now, I do have a Patreon. The link is a link tree down below in the description box. You can buy my book, you can shop merch and so much extra stuff. Request movies via PayPal. With Patreon, memberships do only start from £1 per month. You get so much access to so much early stuff, including reviews that you'll not see here on to the channel. You get access to polls, competitions, goodies, giveaways and all that good stuff that's over there on Patreon. And I do want to give a special thank you to all those people who do support my Patreon. Absolute legends. Love them all. Really appreciate the support, and you can join today by clicking the link down below. Now, let's get back to the video. So this is going to be spoiler free. I'm not going to go into every song that is played or what order that it's played in. If you would like to know that information, I can tell you, but leave a comment down below and type in spoiler first, leave a couple of lines and then your question, so it doesn't get spoiled for other people if you also want to talk about spoilers as well. Going into this, I have been a huge Taylor Swift fan ever since her first album in 2006, and I have followed this woman's journey and as she's become an absolute powerhouse in the music industry. So when this kind of Eras Tour kind of concert was announced and coming to my local cinema, you knew and you could bet my ass my 33-year-old self was going to be there, first showing, first night. And indeed I was tonight at 6 p.m. and this lasts for around 2 hours and 49 minutes. It is shot in a different style where there's no kind of backstage footage, there's kind of no cuts. It is sung one after another, but of course to separate like the albums and the different kind of music timepieces, there is kind of like a showcase kind of visual effect, so to say, that separates each different album and what is going to be played. So going straight into this, guys, I'm just going to be honest, this was absolutely fantastic, and for me, definitely the movie event of the year, without a shadow of a doubt. This, for the entire nearly 3-hour duration, I wasn't bored once, I didn't find myself checking the time once, I was just having a great time, I was singing along, and the cool thing was, in my cinema, is that people were standing up, they were dancing, they were singing along, they were clapping along, they were kind of waving their arms in the air like this, along with this, and it was just such a surreal experience, one that I really enjoyed and can almost just commend the filmmaker and of course Taylor Swift for just providing this high octane energetic show. Before I go into more specifics, I do want to just give the biggest shout out to the people who were involved in making this, and also, as Taylor kind of acknowledges at the end of the concert, the people who's also involved that maybe doesn't get enough acknowledgement, like for example her backup dancers, her backup singers and her band who helped to put this all together, and of course the backstage crew who helps to bring all the equipment and make this setup at the stage and makes it all possible for Taylor to show up and rock out and give you one of the best performances you're probably going to see in your life. This was an absolute gem. This was an absolute delight. Let's start off firstly with the outfits and the wardrobe department, which was absolutely top tier. It was beautiful. Everything was sequenced, it went together. Also, what I really liked was a small little touch, but even the microphones through each kind of music era matched the theme that was being sang, by Taylor, and I thought that was a really cool touch. It was just kind of showcasing even just like the little finer details that was put so well together. The cinematography for around 99% here was absolutely awesome. You got to see probably a lot of stuff that you might actually miss at like the live shows, even just like the smallest and tiniest of details. You get that up close. Heck, the camera even gets up close that much sometimes, where you literally see the sweat beating down from Taylor's head as she is just getting right into the music and the songs and giving this awesome performance. That's how well the cinematography is done, as I mentioned, for about 99%, which we'll get into. I think the direction was also a really good and smart choice, and also the kind of maybe odd little breaks and little gaps maybe between Taylor like changing outfits and, you know, kind of maybe behind the scenes stuff was also done effectively with those kind of transition changes of each different musical era that we were getting teleported to. I thought that was handled good. I thought that it was a nice transition. It was set up well. None of them I didn't think, you know, kind of didn't fit in the tone. It didn't fit out of place. They were all in place. And yeah, it was just really, really good. Also, live Taylor Swift, incredible. What a vocalist, and just goes to show what a powerhouse in music she truly is, because even after all these years, I think about 17 years, even she said in this, doing music, which I think was 2006, her first album, even after all that time, she has just got banger after banger with hits, and you're going to be singing along. And even in my cinema, as I said, there was singing, there was dancing, and I think especially if you take your kids, your grandkids, or even if you just go yourself, you're going to be kind of toe tapping, you're going to be singing along, you're going to be kind of bobbing your head to the songs, because there's absolutely a ton that you're all going to know and love. What I will say, just as a little warning maybe for the younger audiences, because there was a couple of there tonight, there is a couple of songs that Taylor sings here where it does have the odd occasional swear word in, so if you don't want your child maybe or grandchild to expose that, just to give you a heads up, there's a couple of ones in there that's kind of thrown in. But just the set pieces also, when we get introduced into the era of music, is beautiful, whether it is a loud kind of set piece that we get, for example, in like the 1989 or the Red era or the Reputation, for example, or whether we get like the kind of quieter and calmer ones like Folklore, for example. It's done really well. The cabin displayed was beautiful and was such a cool touch, and one of my favourites, I will say that. And I can't really praise this enough. Everything, set piece, spectacle. This is a spectacle. This is a cinematic spectacle. I won't say to you, right, wait until it goes on streaming. Get yourself to the cinema if you can and go support this. I absolutely can't recommend it enough. If I'm going to go into any negatives, and these are only little, very minor nitpicks, there was one or two times when I mentioned with the cinematography about 99% spot on. There was one or two times where, say for example, if Taylor's coming towards the stage this way, the camera's focused on her here, and then kind of like focus it on a like backwards or like a different angle, and that happens quite a few times, which I would have liked the camera to have like just followed her back to like maybe the main stage, and then kind of, you know, like zoomed out and maybe slowly zoomed in as she starts to walk forward again. I think that would have been kind of more effective, but I noticed that quite throughout a few different songs, and there was a couple of times where I felt like the camera angle maybe changed a little bit too much, like technically. But besides that, that's kind of like only the minor nitpick that I've got. It was honestly one of the best experiences I've had this year. It really, really was, and I can't recommend this enough. So without further ado, my score for Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour concert film review is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So have you seen Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour concert film? Are you going to check it out? What is your favourite Taylor Swift song? Well, let me know down below in the comment section, as you've heard my thoughts, but now it's the most important opinion of yours, and that is yours, and I would love to carry on that conversation down there. If you've enjoyed this video, certainly give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the button as you are down there as well, next to the comment section, and until the next time, I say you, I'll be seeing you later.